Welcome to Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered. Focus Beyond, Mastering the Stock Market for Financial Freedom. In this inspiring keynote, George Fokas shares the principles, strategies and mindset that have established him as a global leader in investment education. Combining decades of experience, a proven track record and a passion for teaching, George has dedicated his career to helping individuals achieve financial freedom through disciplined, intelligent and strategic stock market investing. Recorded live at the Cyprus Diaspora Forum 2026 on May 7th at the AMARA Hotel in Limassol, Cyprus. This keynote offers valuable insights for investors at every stage of their financial journey. Hosted by the Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered podcast.
Well, good. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining in. My name is George Fokas. My company in Australia is Fokas Beyond, and my company globally is Fokas Wealth. So today, the purpose of this is I want to teach you a strategy for cash flow. A lot of people are asset rich but cash flow poor. And it's great to be here at the Diaspora, and there's a lot of strategies, a lot of innovation, but the one thing we need is cash flow. We're always looking for money. We can't survive unless we have money. So the strategy that I've been applying for 26 years is a cash flow strategy, and that's what I want to teach. A lot of people understand investing, but the strategy that I'm going to teach you today is a strategy that banks and stockbrokers implement internally, but they don't teach it. And that's the big distinction. And I'll talk about where I come from as well and why I'm here and why I qualify. But when it comes to investing, I'll tell you a lot of things in regards to why I'm here. But first and foremost is this: do we agree that we've been conditioned all our lives to work for our money? We've been taught to work for our money. Now, when do we see a return on that time? At the end. At the end. I mean, if we work a week or a fortnight or a month, then we get paid. We've got to work a month or a week before we get paid. And so we see a return on that at the end. Now, if we put money in the bank, when do we see a return on that? If we lock it up into a term deposit or a cash deposit, I mean, we know what the interest rate here is in Cyprus, but when do we see that return? We see it at the end. If we're lucky. And when we look at property investing, when do we see a return on that? On the sale, at the end. And when it comes to investing in the markets, whether it's stock market or crypto or forex or commodities, whatever it is, when do we see that return? At the end, on the sale, hopefully. So all our lives we've been conditioned to see a return at the end. Yes, before we die. But what makes me different to everybody else is I see my profit at the beginning of my transaction. The moment I go into the market, my profit is paid into my account from day one. So whatever happens in the market, whether the market goes up or whether the market goes down, I've still made money. I've made my profit. So that's the difference. And so what are we looking for? Whether we put money into a bank or into property or into a business or into a startup, what are we looking for? A return. And I get the return at the beginning of our transaction. So this is the biggest thing that's important to me is when I put money into an investment, I want to see a return. I don't want to hope for a return. I want to see a return from day one. And that's exactly what I want to teach you today. And not only teach it to you, I actually want to share with you. I did an event, not yesterday, what was yesterday? Wednesday. Today, Thursday, yeah. I did an event Tuesday here in Limassol and Monday in Larnaca. And I actually placed some trades in my live account with the audience in the room. And I'm going to share with you my actual trading account. And I'm going to show you a stock that I went into that has gone down. And the income that I'm still earning, even though it's gone down. Because I'm looking for cash flow. And 2 days ago, I actually placed a trade. And I want to show you that and the money I made from day one. Because for me, it's about making money. Now, Christo said you're in the stock market, long-term dividends. But the reality is I'm not out for dividends because the dividends is very small for most companies and you can't live off it unless you've got $500,000 in the market. And for most people, they don't have $500,000 to invest. And so the dividends is very small, and if we're only relying on dividends, we can't survive. But if I can teach you with a small amount to give you something back, more than what the bank is paying you, it's worth learning. And so people don't realize how the markets work. So you're going to hear me use the term stock market, but you're going to hear me use the term markets. See, the stock market is one piece of the markets. And so I'm going to talk about the markets itself with all the different strategies, but the stock market specifically. So when it comes to investing, 95% of people who put money into the market speculate. And what do I mean by speculate? They guess, they hope, believing that it's going to go up. People trade the stock market. That's one of the markets. Other people trade the options market. Have you heard of options? Call options and put options? Other people trade the Forex market, currency trading. Then we have things like CFDs. We have the bonds market. We have the futures market. We have warrants. We have the crypto market. See, people are looking at investing and they will look at the stock market. They will look at Forex or crypto as an investment, but they're hoping for a return at the end. There's no guarantee of a return. But what people don't realise is there's two sides to the markets. On the other side of the coin, 5% of people create the markets, a market maker. And so 5% of people who put money into the markets will receive a return up front from day one, irrespective of which way the market's going to go. So 5% of people who put money into the markets will see a profit return income at the beginning of the transaction, and whatever the market does, they've made money. So if the market goes up or if the market goes down, it doesn't matter. We've still made money because that's what we're looking for. So I want to teach you this side of the market today, which is what banks, stockbrokers, fund managers, large corporations, institutional investors are on this side, and people like you and me. Because we work hard for our money. We want to see something back. Because how often do we put money into investments and we never see a return and we feel disheartened? And so this is what I want to teach you today. So let me explain this. If we had some money, let's say you had some money right now, would you agree the three main investment vehicles is either put it in a bank, go into property, or go into the markets, right? If we put money in the bank right now here in Cyprus, what's it paying? 0.5%? Value, 1%, right? Depending on the capital investment. So the banks are paying 1%, in Australia at the moment 5%. They've just gone up with interest rate rise. Now, if we look at residential investment properties here in Cyprus, or even in Australia, what are they paying per annum? Residential. In Cyprus here, they've said between 5% and 7% per annum. Does that make sense? Let me explain this to you. So if we've got some money and we're trying to put it into an investment, we can either go into the bank, into property. Now, have we heard of a company called Starbucks? Have we heard of a company called Starbucks? What do? Make coffee. I don't know if it's good coffee or bad coffee, but they make coffee. So let me ask you this. I want to ask you 4 questions. First and foremost, in fact, it's going to be 5 questions. Number 1, is Starbucks a global company? It is. Does it sell its products across the board? Yeah, it does. Does Starbucks trade on the US stock exchange? Does Starbucks trade on the US stock exchange? Does its share price trade on the US stock exchange? It does. Yeah. Does it go up and down every day? Can we control that? Think about this. Can we control it? Every day it will go up and down. When the stock market's trading, Starbucks and all the share prices will go up and down. But can we control it? No, we can't. We can't. Volume. But our volume, as an individual investor, we can't. The banks and the stockbrokers, their volume can move it, but we can't move it. So I'm talking about us. Can we control? No, we can't. But listen to this very carefully. If you had some money and you put into the bank, we're going to make 1% a year. Property here in Cyprus, 5 to 7% on that money. If we put into Starbucks, let's say shortly when the stock market opens, if we put that money into Starbucks today, we can make a 3% return from day one up front, and whatever happens in the market, we've made money from day one, profit, at the beginning. Would you be okay with that? A 3% return. Christo, you're looking at it, you're thinking about it, Besmu. What's the catch? So let me ask you this. Would 3% up front from day one be okay? Right? Good. But if we looked at this and we said, well, property is paying 5% to 7%, but you're telling me 3%, welcome. Μιλάτε και ελληνικά όλα, εντάξει? All right. Would you agree a lot of people would look at that and say 3% is not a lot of money? because property's paying 7%, for example. But we're making the 3% upfront from day one. So whatever Starbucks does, we've made money. Certainty. And I'll use this word, guaranteed. So whatever the market does, whether Starbucks goes up or down, whether the stock market goes up or down, I've made money from day one, guaranteed. But people will look at that and go, 3%, I'm not happy with that. I want more. But the biggest thing is this, our human society, human trait is we're always conditioned to look for more and chase more. We're never satisfied. Something is better than nothing when we're not working for it. Does that make sense? Because people are working for their money. Yes, you might be a photographer, an amazing photographer, but you've got to work to make the money. Whereas I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to deal with anybody. I could be sitting on a Greek island by myself. As long as I can click the buttons on a computer and I've got an internet connection, I'll make money from day one. I don't care what the market does. I'm not watching the stock market. But the thing is, people look at that and go, I'm not happy with that. But let me ask you this. What if I told you how would you like a 3% return this month, paid into your account from day one up front, and whatever Starbucks does, whatever the stock market does, over the next month, you've made money, whatever it does. Guaranteed. Would you be okay with that? So, Christo, can I ask you a question? How many months per year in Cyprus? How many? Months in Cyprus per year. Πόσους μήνες στην Κύπρο το χρόνο? Όχι, πόσες μήνες έχει η Κύπρο το χρόνο? 12, μπράβο. It wasn't a trick question. So if we can do 3% a month, what can we do a year? That's not annually, that's a month. Would you be okay with that? Christos saying, too good to be true. It is. And I appreciate it. The biggest thing is this, don't believe anything I tell you. I have to prove it to you. Is that okay? And at the end of this presentation, I will ask you one question and one question only. Have I proven to you a return on investment from day one? And you can say, yes, you have, George, or you can say, you're full of it like everybody else. That's it. So, would you be okay to earn a 3% return from day one up front from the market, and whatever the market does, you've been paid? I'll prove it to you. Now, these are what I call my 6 keys to success. First and foremost, the strategy that I'm going to be teaching you today. How long does it take for us to make money from day one? 10 minutes to click 10 buttons, we get paid from day one. Give me 10 minutes of your time, I'll show you which 10 buttons to click, we make money from day one. 10 minutes. That's how long it takes. In fact, I recorded the trade I did 2 days ago in Limassol, live in the markets. And I'll explain it to you. Would you like to learn how to transfer risk to somebody else who holds the risk and they pay you for it from day one while they hold the risk? Would you like to learn how to transfer risk to somebody else who holds the risk and you get paid for it while they hold the risk? Now, because we're transferring risk, I'll give you a hint. The more you interact, the quicker I'll get through this. Okay? Is there risk for us? Yes, there is, but I want to reduce my risk. There is risk in everything we do, but how do we reduce risk? Because once again, it's all great to have ideas, but I want cash flow. I want income. I want to live off cash flow, and I don't want to work for it. In addition, would you like to learn how to protect your money in the markets? You can protect between 90 to 99% of your capital using what we call stock protection. So your money is protected when you go into the market, between 90% up to 99%. So your maximum exposure when we go into the market is up to 10%. That's it. That's your maximum exposure. So the strategy I'm going to be teaching you today, the minimum investment that we need when we're ready is between 2,000 to 5,000 USD. So I'm going to teach you the US market because it is the biggest market in the world. And globally, we invest in the US market. So 2,000 to 5,000 would be the minimum investment that we would need to put in, okay, when we're ready to start. In addition, the strategy has been available since 1973. So it's not a strategy that I created. It's a proven strategy, and I'll use the word proven strategy for over 5 decades, implemented by banks and stockbrokers. It's a proven strategy. And we must have a 3 to 5 year plan if we want to retire at a younger age, instead of relying on a government handout called a pension. Okay? So 3 to 5 year plan. Can I ask a question? Have any of you written down a plan of where you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? Have you written it down? That means no. Do you all agree we all talk about what we want in life? We all talk about wanting to retire. We all talk about wanting to have millions. We want to have the nice house, the car, the holiday house, and all this sort of stuff. We talk about it, but we never put it down on paper. I'll give you this distinction. If there's something you're going to take away from me today, I want this to be the distinction I want you to take away. Written words leave impressions and spoken words evaporate. What we say, we forget, but what we put down, we remember. And when you put it down, you're manifesting it. Whether you believe in God or Buddha or Allah or the universe, whatever, what you put out is what you get back. And most people don't write it down. They talk about it, but they forget about it. So written words leave impressions, spoken words evaporate. So very important to write your plan down, 3 to 5 years, where you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years, because I'm pretty certain for most people, we are 2026. If they look back 5, 6 years ago, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We talk about what we want, but nothing's changed. So that's why it's important. My 4 big learning points. Number 1 is education. Do you all agree we have to have the right education when it comes to investing? Yes? Yeah. How many of you have heard the saying, education is power, or knowledge is power? Have you heard of that? I disagree with it. It's wrong. I'll tell you why. How many university lecturers are so knowledgeable, but yet they still work in a job? How many of you agree knowledge is potential power? Applying it is power. I could learn how to invest, but if I don't apply it, nothing changes. You've got to apply what you know to make it power. Education is paramount to long-term success. Number 2 is picking the right asset class. 3 is risk management, learning about protecting your money. And number 4 is the income that we want to generate from day one. Because that's the difference between me and everybody else. We make our profit from day one up front. I don't have to watch the markets, and whether the markets go up or down, I still make money. Now, for your peace of mind, just so you know, I am actually licensed here in Cyprus and in Australia and in the US to speak today. So I am actually licensed. But it is purely general advice, what we call general advice. It's educational purposes. There's no personal advice given. So with your permission, can I continue? Thank you. My name is George Fokas, just like the camera Focus, but spelt the correct way, F-O-K-A-S. I'm 50, but I look 40. People laugh at that. Why? Don't I look 40? I'll tell you a little bit about where I come from. I am born and raised in Australia. My parents came from Greece for a better life. And growing up, my father always worked for his money. And the old traditional was go to university and work and save. And I didn't want to go down that path. So I was the black sheep of the family, where I started investing in the stock market because my father was so negative about the stock market. That was conditioned to me all my life. So if someone spoke about the stock market, just like what most people do, they open the door, stock market, they leave. They don't want to listen. But I decided to sit and listen and learn about it. And so in 1999, at the age, how old was I? I was born 75. 1999, or however old I was, I would go and learn. I would go to all these different seminars all around Australia and listen and learn and try to learn how to make money from the markets. But the unfortunate thing was I lost a lot of money in 1999 trading the market, being on the 95% side. And so people around me thought, you're an idiot, you've lost all this money, people have taken all your money, keep working. My father's idea was go get a second and third job now to make up the money you lost. But I knew there was a way to make money, I just had to find the right way. So I went to another seminar. You may have heard of Rene Rifkin, may not. But he was a stockbroker, one of the biggest stockbrokers at the time in Australia. And he was speaking up on stage in front of 3,000 people, and I was one of them. And he explained this strategy, and it made sense. Because the figures don't lie, it makes sense. And so I decided to learn it. I paid money to buy his course to learn. That was in late 99. And in early 2000, I started on the Australian market, then I went over to the US market. And 3 years later, in 2003, at the age of 28, I semi-retired. In 2005, I fully retired at the age of 30 with this strategy 3 years later. And I'll show you the figures, so you'll see it, you'll understand it. And in 2005, I was bored. People say, I want to retire, I want to stop working. Do you understand what the word retire means? The Japanese don't even use the word retire because you want to retire, you want to get tired again. So I decided I needed to teach. A friend of mine in London said, why don't you come over to the UK and teach what you do? So I started teaching in 2005 in the UK. In 2006, I started teaching in Australia. And as I mentioned before, Robert Kiyosaki, in 2007, he heard about me. And in 2007, I was invited to go to his events in the US and speak at his events. So from 2007 to about 2013, 14, I was speaking at his events every month, at least once a month. And Robert Kiyosaki and his team would fly me to the US and speak at his events. And so since 2005, I travel across the planet and I teach. I love teaching. It's education. There's no personal advice. The biggest thing for me is to teach you to invest your own money and look after your money, because no fund manager will look after your money. They just want fees. The reality is they just want fees. Okay? So the most educated person in the world is you, and you need to look after it. So this is where I am today. And Paul heard about me because I was here in Cyprus last year. I do events here in Cyprus. I got clients here in Cyprus. So I travel to Cyprus a lot because I do events. And in fact, I've got my clients' trading statements sitting in my bag. If anyone wants to see them later, I'm more than happy to show you what they're generating, what they've generated in the last 6 to 12 months following this process, and you'll see it. And as I mentioned, I'm going to share with you my trading that I did, a couple of trades I did this week. So you'll see those, not good ones. So, and that's where I am now. I travel, I teach, I'm passionate about it because I want to see people succeed. There's enough money in this world for all of us to be rich and wealthy. Unfortunately, there's a group of scumbags, I don't call them elites, who want to dictate what we do. I don't agree with digital ID and digital currency because that's controlled. Cash is king. The more cash we can distribute around and pay in cash, the better society is going to be. Less controlled. And that's my take. So each time one person shares their wisdom, another person is strengthened. Do you agree? My success will never dampen your success. And if you're successful and you're doing something that's successful, I want to learn from you because we can all work together. But unfortunately, there's a group of people, there are people out there who are jealous, not happy with other people. There's negativity. And so we need more positive in this world. And that's why I do it. My most important thing to me is my family. I've got my beautiful wife who travels with me as well. Kids are at home. We've got a 21-year-old, 22-year-old. We've got an 18-year-old going 19 next week, and that's why we're flying back. And I'm 30. I'm 40, like stomata. And our 16-year-old. And life is about watching our kids grow up. Choosing life on our own terms, not being dictated to, and that's important. Because do you agree the system is designed for us to be slaves to the system and stay in the rat race? And so when we've got multiple streams of income, we're not controlled. Most people rely on one source of income. And that's why it is important to build multiple streams of income. Now, we were never taught at school how to make money. The reality is I missed that day. I was away. I was sick. And the day they were talking about making money, work for you, I was away. I'm pretty sure every single one of you was away that day too. And that's the reason why people struggle financially, is because we spend all these years in school and we learn absolutely nothing about money. We are taught to work for money, not have money work for us. So we become a slave to the system. And then I meet people who go, George, I'm retiring at the age of 70. I've won the rat race. I said, you've won no rat race because you're still a rat, because you've worked all your life for that money. So it's about learning to make money work for you. And then people do these sorts of jobs. If you Google words jobs and click on images, these things come up. And these are real jobs. And that's what we call financial destruction. How many of you have heard of the Dow Jones? The Dow Jones makes up the top 30 companies. Whatever the Dow Jones does, the rest of the world follows. Since 1975, up until today, the overall trend is up. But do we all agree the markets don't go up constantly? They will go up a little bit, come down, go up, come down a lot, go up a bit, come down. Do we all agree the stock market, property market, goes up and down in cycles? And there are people who are trying to predict the cycle, buy low, sell high. And to me, that's gambling. That is speculation and that's gambling. I don't want to gamble my money and I don't want you gambling your money. I want certainty. When it comes to investing, I want certainty. And the one thing I'm going to promise you is we get paid from day one, and I'll guarantee it, and I'll prove it to you. Because I want to see my profit at the beginning of my transaction, not hope for it at the end. So the strategy I want to teach you today, and you may have heard of the strategy, it's been in the market since 1973, is called covered calls. It's a buy right strategy. Have any of you heard of covered calls? No? Good. You're about to learn it. Can we all say covered calls? They say enthusiasm is contagious, right? Covered calls, thank you. If any of you are taking down notes, great. It is important to take down notes if you can. I'll tell you why. When you're writing things down instead of taking photos, because you'll never go back to the photos. Oh, well, yeah, okay. No, she's good at that. When you take down notes, you learn better. You absorb more. So can I encourage you to take down notes if you can, okay? So the strategy is called covered calls. Covered calls is a two-step process. How many steps? Good. The more you interact, the more I'm going to go through this. So covered calls is a two-step process. What I want to do now is I want to explain the two steps to you, because once I've explained the two steps, you're going to get it. Step number one is very simple. Step two is a big step, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break step two down into little chunk sizes to make it easy. Okay? I'm going to explain this like as if you've never invested. You have no idea what covered calls or the market is. I know you're trading a little bit, but that's it. So I want to explain it to you like you're all new to this. Step number one, we've got to go into the US market and we have to buy some shares, some stocks of a company. We have to buy some shares. Let's call them A, B, C. What are they called? I don't have anywhere else to go this afternoon, so we can be here all night if you want. What's the stock called? ABC. Why do I get you to repeat things? Yeah. I can sit here and talk and you can sit and listen, and I'm certain most of the stuff you won't remember. But if I get you to repeat things, you're going to learn better. I know sometimes people don't want to call out, but the more you participate, the more you'll actually take away today. Okay? So I'd encourage you to. I ask questions a lot because I want your interaction, because that's how you're going to learn. I can sit here and talk all day. I love talking. But I want you to absorb and walk away and go, I learned something. It makes sense. So step number one, I've got to go into the US market. I've got to buy some shares. I'm just going to call them ABC. This is just an example. And we've got to outlay $20 to buy the shares. How much are we outlaying? $20. Step number one, we've got to buy some shares on the US market. Let's call them ABC, and we're outlaying $20. Everyone okay with that? Step number one is done. We've just got to buy some shares. Christos said he's got some shares that he's trading at the moment that he's got in his portfolio for long term. How many people here in Cyprus, in Australia, in Europe, in America have shares in a portfolio and they just sit on them and wait for them to go up? A lot. And there's got no cash flow, there's no income. And they say, my shares eventually will go up and then I'll sell them and make money. But then people go into property and invest in property and they're waiting for that property to go up and get capital. They've got a capital gain strategy in property. They've got a capital gain strategy in the stock market. Where's your cash flow? There isn't any. They've got to work. It's called a job. How do we make money from day one? George says we make money from day one, guaranteed. How do we make money from day one? Step number two. So listen carefully. I'll break it down and then it'll make sense and you'll get it. Step two, we have to put a contract on that stock that we're buying. So we're actually creating a contract. And the contract that we're going to create has an agreed price, and that agreed price is called a strike price. What's it called? Strike price. So step two, we are creating a contract on that stock that we're buying. So as we're buying the stock, we're putting a contract on it immediately. And that contract that we create goes into the market, and the market gives that contract to a trader that's in the market. So we create this contract, it goes into the market. How do we create it? Electronically, 10 minutes to click 10 buttons. We create the contract, we put it into the market gives it to a trader. And our contract that we've created is very specific. It says the following. So this contract that we're now creating on these shares is very specific. It says we've bought these ABC shares, is that correct? And the contract now says we are agreeing to sell our shares. So the contract says we've bought them and now we're agreeing to sell them to someone in the marketplace. And we are agreeing to sell them at a price that we're locking in today. So we're going to sell it to them at $20. So we've bought them for 20. We've put a contract on them that says we're going to sell it to them for 20, but we're not selling it to them today. The contract says we are agreeing to sell it to them in a month's time at the price that we're locking in today. So you're probably going to think, hold on, George, we're buying the stock today for 20, and then in a month's time, we're going to sell it for 20. We're not making any capital gain because we're buying it and selling it for the same price. Correct. There's no capital gain. This isn't a capital gain strategy. This is a cash flow strategy. My question to all of you is this: do we know what the stock or the market is going to do over the next month? No, we don't. The reality is we don't. I'll talk about the person on this side. The person who's buying the contract. That person says to the market, I like that stock. I want to buy that stock, but I don't want to pay for it today. So the person says, I've analyzed the market. I've looked at that stock. I want to buy it, but I don't want to pay for it today. What I want to do today is I want to lock it in at today's price, but I will buy it in a month's time at today's price. Because they believe over the next month, that stock is going to do what? Do you all follow? Does that make sense? This person believes that's a good stock and it's going to go up, but I don't want to pay for it today. I want to lock it in today, but I will buy it in a month's time at that price because they believe it's going to be worth more. For this person to be able to lock this agreement in place, the agreement isn't free. They have to pay for it. So the trader on that side of the market pays what we call a premium to lock the agreement in place. So they pay $1.20 to lock the agreement in place. So if they pay $1.20 to lock that agreement in place, who takes the $1.20? Who takes the $1.20? Not me. Who created the contract? You guys. You've bought the stock and you've created a contract and they pay immediately $1.20 to lock that agreement in place. Who takes the $1.20? We do. Do you follow? So you've bought the stock, you've put a contract on it that goes to the market, goes to a trader. The trader buys the contract, pays $1.20 immediately. You've just made $1.20 on your $20 investment day one up front. Have you received a return on your investment from day one? Can I ask the question again? Have you received a return on your investment from day one? Do you need the stock or the market to move for you to make money? No. If we outlay $20 and we get back $1.20, what's our cost on that stock? If you outlay $20 and they immediately give you back $1.20, what's your cost? $18.80. Because you've given 20 and they've given you back $1.20. So your outlay is $18.80. Your outlay is $18.80 on a stock that was trading at what? 20. How many of you would like to learn how to go into the markets and buy shares at $18.80, which is what our banks and stockbrokers pay while everybody else pays retail at 20? Who'd be okay with that? Would you like to pay $18.80 while everybody else pays 20? You pay $18.80 at the time that they're paying 20. Would that be all right? Do we need this stock to move for us to make money? Think about your next door neighbour says, what are you doing? And you say, I'm buying ABC shares, and they go and buy ABC shares. How much are they paying for it? How much did we pay? What are they hoping it does over the next month? What are we hoping it does? Who cares? Do you follow? Good. Next piece. In fact, this contract that you create is very specific. It has two conditions. So the contract that you're creating on your shares has two terms and conditions, two conditions in the market. Condition number one says to the person who's holding the contract, at the end of the month, if this stock closes at the price that we agreed or higher, we have the obligation to sell our shares to the person who's holding the contract. So at the end of the month, if the stock closes at $20 or higher, we have to sell the shares to the person who's holding the contract. No emotion. Are we all okay with that? So let's say at the end of the month, the stock price is $21. Is it above the price that we agreed? Yes. So guess what happens? We don't need to do anything. Your stockbroker takes the shares out of your account, gives it to the person who's holding the contract, takes the $20 out of their account and banks it into your account. You've just converted your shares into what? It starts with C and ends with Ash. Good answer. You got your $20 back, but what else did you make from day one? The $1.20. So now you've got your 20 plus $1.20, $21.20. Find another stock, do it again. But hold on. Can the stock at the end of the month go down? Do we know what it's going to do? No. The contract says if it closes at or above, we agree to sell. Condition 2 says if the stock at the end of the month closes below, this contract that you created negates, cancels, worthless. So the contract that you created is cancelled, negated, which means the person who's holding the contract walks away from the deal. No deal. Are we selling our shares? Because the stock's done what? Gone down. So we're not selling them. So do we keep the $20 shares that we bought? Do we keep the $1.20 they paid us? What do we do now on those shares that we bought that are sitting there with no contract? What do we do now next month? Well done. Go in and do it again. And we do another contract. Do you follow? Yes? Now, with this strategy, we don't every month make 3% for Starbucks. We may earn $1.20 this month. Next month, we may only earn $1. The month after that, you may do 60 cents. The month after that, you may do $1.85. The return isn't the same every month. It depends on supply and demand. Is that okay? But do we all agree something is better than nothing when we're making money from day one? Something is better than nothing. Good, we're not greedy. Now, George, what happens at the end of the month if that stock drops and goes to $17, goes to $15, goes to $10, goes to $5? Can that happen? Yes. I want to ask you all this question. I want to see how you're thinking. If we bought this $20 stock and we made $1.20 from day one, our cost is $18.80. And let's say at the end of the month, it's at $17, just to keep the numbers easy. It could be 10, it could be 5, it could be 15, it could be whatever, but let's just say 17. If our cost is $18.80, but today the stock is at $17, have we lost money? No. Have we lost money, yes or no? Who says yes? Okay, who says no? And who's not going to put their hands up? Hands up. Thank you. You haven't lost cash, you've lost value, only on paper. It's not a realized loss. There is no loss unless we sell. Does that make sense? Okay. If someone had, let's talk property for a second, just to keep, this isn't like property, but let me just use this as an example. I love property. If I bought a house here in Cyprus, in Limassol, I'll just use easy numbers, $500,000. And then a year later, it's worth $350,000. Have I lost money? I still have the house. If I sold it today, I've lost if I sell it. But if that property is rented and I'm getting €500 a month, best, right? I've still got money coming in, even though its value is down. It's the money coming in that I need to survive, pay the loan, do things. I don't care about its asset value because I'm not selling it today. I didn't buy it to sell it today or sell it in a year's time. I bought it to hold it. Does that make sense? I'm looking for cash flow. Okay, I've put my $500,000 and I bought the property. It's now worth less. If I had to sell it, I'd lose. But I don't care what it's worth today because I want cash. As long as I can rent it and get income, I don't care what it's worth. Does everybody understand that? It's a cash flow strategy. So when I explain this to people, most people will say, you've lost money. But there's no loss because I haven't sold. It could go up tomorrow. It could go down tomorrow. I don't know. But if I can go back in and do another contract to give me something back on my investment of $20, I don't care what it's worth today. Does that make sense? I want cash flow. Question? Strike price. Most times, yes. It depends on the price of the stock. I'll explain more about that later, if that's okay. But most times, yes. I'm actually going to share with you a trade that I'm in at the moment that I bought for 47. That's currently 41, or was it 41? And the money that I made on that stock, even though it's come down. So I'll show you my live trade, okay? Who are these people and why are they buying our contracts? The person who's buying your contract is a person who we call an options trader. A person who plays the options market. An options trader plays the options market. But for the option trader to play that market, someone has to create the market for them to play in it. And guess what we do? How many of you would like to learn how to create the market and transfer the risk of an option contract to a trader who holds the risk and you get paid for it from day one and they have to hold the risk for the month and you don't need to watch the markets? Would that be okay? Can I ask you this? Who do you think overall makes the most money? The casino, the house, or the punter in the casino hoping to strike it rich every day? How many of you would like to be the casino in the stock market and learn how to create the game and transfer the risk to these option traders who play the game and you get paid for it from day one? And that's what I've been doing for 26 years. And that's what I want to teach you. So, the next thing for you to understand in regards to this strategy, we have to buy a minimum of 100 shares, which allows us to create one contract. So if we go and buy Google shares, Tesla shares, Microsoft shares, Meta shares, McDonald's, Johnson & Johnson, Caterpillar, whatever, PayPal, eBay, we have to buy 100 shares minimum. I can't buy 20 or 40 or 60 or even 99. To do this strategy, to make money from day one, a minimum of 100 shares allows us to create one contract. If we bought 300 shares, how many contracts can we create? 3. Well done. The next thing, the contracts that we create have a set expiry date. So the contracts that we create on the US stock exchange expire every 3rd Friday of each month. So if you were paying attention to what I was explaining in regards to the contract, and I said it has 2 conditions, I said condition number 1, at the end of the month, if the stock closes at or above, we agree to sell. If it closes below at the end of the month, contract's negated. So when is the end of the month? Because when I say that, a lot of people think, oh, today is the 6th or 7th of May, end of the month is the end of May. No. Last Friday was the 1st of May, and that was the first Friday. Tomorrow is the 2nd Friday. What's next week? When do our contracts expire? 15th, next Friday. If we went into the market today, our contract would be for 8 days till Friday next week. Does everyone understand that? So why do I love this strategy so much? Because at any point throughout the month, I can go into the market and I can create a contract and make money from day one, even on the last day of expiry, and these idiots will pay me. I can make anywhere between 0.5% to 1% for one day. Question? If you start at the beginning, you will make more because of the time of the contract. But for example, June and July, we're in Greece. We're on holidays. I don't want to turn my computer on. For 2 months, my money is having a break. It's parked because it works hard for the other months. I give it a holiday. I don't want to turn my computer on. I want to be on the water. I'm on the jet ski. We're on the boat, whatever we want to do. I don't want to look at it. Now, people say, but hold on a second. Why wouldn't you do it if it only takes you 10 minutes? Because I don't have those 10 minutes that I want to sit and turn my computer on. I could, or I could do a contract for 2 months. Yeah, I could go into a contract today and go till June if I wanted to, and that way I don't have to watch it until June. Does that make sense? But because if I do a contract from today till June, I'm not going to make more. If I do a 2-month contract, it's not double the income. So I want to do them 4 weeks maximum because that's where I maximize my return. Does that make sense? The less the percentage, 4 weeks is where we get the most, usually. It's a set and forget. which is, you took the words, but I was about to cover that, and you've taken it out of my, so well done, thank you. No, so let me ask you this. I said 10 minutes to click 10 buttons, we get paid from day one. So 10 minutes to click the buttons to buy the stock and create the contract, money is in our account, guaranteed from day one, the moment the order goes into the market, right? For the rest of the month, or for the next 8 days, what do we need to do? We've clicked the buttons, we've placed a trade, money in our account. What do we need to do for the next 8 days or for the next month? Nothing. If you travel, I like that. If you turn your computer on every day to see what the stock is doing, is it up, is it down, are you going to make any more? No, you're wasting time. How many of you want to get paid to wait where your profit is paid into your account from day one, and for the rest of the month, close your computer and you've got to wait? Would that be all right? Yes? Well, for 4 of you. The rest of you, you're still skeptical. That's okay. All right? Question. 1 question a day. You've already asked one. Make it a good one. Go.
Wouldn't you do some research to know which ones to buy?
Okay. Are you all reading my mind? Because that was the next thing I was about to talk about. So let me explain this to you. Do you agree there are good stocks to invest, but also bad stocks to invest? Do you agree in Cyprus there are good areas to buy property, and there's villages in Khoria where you wouldn't buy because no one's going to rent it? So we've got to do due diligence. The biggest thing is this: don't ever invest on emotion, because people will say, oh, I love electric cars, I'm going to buy Tesla, for example. That's emotion. Don't ever invest on emotion. And the next question I want to ask all of you is this: would you go into the market and would you buy this stock because you believe it's going to go up in value? Yes or no? Would you buy it because you believe it's going to go up in value? Yes or no? You would. See, that's speculation. You haven't learned from me yet. Do we know if it's going to go up? Why are we buying it? Because we've done our due diligence. We've picked a stock that meets criteria that I'm going to teach you that I've been applying for 26 years. And we're buying it because it's going to make us money from day one. And whatever it does over the next month, we still made money, which is cash flow. I'm not buying it because I believe it's going to go up, because that's guessing.
Okay. Still, we have to at least minimize the risk not to lose.
We need to minimize our risk not to lose. So let me... How long?
10 years to get back our...
Okay, so your traditional investing, που έχεις αγοράσει shares,
My point is that if it's a crappy
stock,
and it goes down,
Yep.
and it takes 5 years to recover,
Yep.
then I'm stuck with that.
okay, so you're thinking 5 years to recover your money back with zero return.
No, there are returns. I get that.
Okay.
I get that. But then...
Yep. Forget the dividends. You can't even buy fish and chips with dividends. You can't. Unless you've got a lot of money in the market. So let me explain this to you. I'll give you this example so you can understand. Because if we buy a $20 stock and it goes to 10, it drops 50% and stays at 10, never comes back up. If I can show you how to make $1 every month, in 20 months, you've got 100% return on investment while the stock is still at 10. What do you want? What more do you want? Because you're thinking your old traditional way as well, where I've bought the stock, it's gone down, I'm getting some dividends, and now I need it to come back up just to get my money back. But I'm saying, if I can give you cash flow, the cash flow is going to cover your cost 100%, even if it comes down and never comes back up. Have you heard of a company called Foot Locker? We traded at $47, just over 47. And the month that we went in, it went from 47 to 29. And then it was trading from 29 to 25. Right? 10 months later, and we closed out 10 months later. Sold at 29. We bought it for 47. 10 months later, sold it for 29 with a 15% profit on our $47 investment. And we sold it at 29. That's good. Sorry? The percentage is set by the buyers in the market, the players. Okay? The income that we made over the 10 months.
From the many contracts, monthly contracts.
Plus, I have what we call a stock repair technique. So should a stock drop 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 80%, 90%, I'll teach you my stock repair technique to make money and get out within a 10 to 12 month time frame with a profit, even if it stays down, which you won't find on Uncle Google or on YouTube. I've been doing this for 26 years. I love challenges because I can prove. See, a lot of people will say this is a directional strategy. It's not. They just don't understand the strategy in detail. I've only been trading 26 years, one strategy and one strategy only, this. When someone comes to me for Bitcoins and all cryptos, I stay away. I'm not interested. Because when something works, I don't need to change anything. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, go for it. Okay, for us in Australia, this is income strategy. There's no capital gains tax. This is an income. And the strategy is classified as an income strategy. Whether you make a loss or not, it's still an income strategy. Yeah, no. Cyprus, I couldn't tell you because I trade the US and I trade it. Yeah, thank you. There you go. So that's why I'm here. Setting up companies in Cyprus to trade through there. We purchase shares in lots of 100 on the US stock market. And then what do? Step 2, we create contracts on the stocks that we buy. So Christo, you've got some shares. Are they on the US market? I could show you how to do contracts on them while you're holding them, get some income while you're sitting on them, and get your dividend as well if you hold it. Because you're missing out on income on a monthly basis while you're waiting for capital gain. So even if it's gone down, you still get cash flow, right? It can be done on any broker platform as long as they can do stocks and options together. Yes, okay? Global investors trade the US market because it is the biggest market in the world. The buyer of our contract agrees to purchase our stock at an agreed price, which we choose. What's that called? Strike price. We as the creators generate upfront income into our account the next trading day with 100% certainty. Who wants to get paid with certainty from day one? 3 people. Remember, this is yes and this is no, right? And as I said, the more you participate, the quicker we're going to finish. Good. What are we generating this month? How many of you would like to see a 2 to 4% return in your account for the next month, for 1 month? So think about this. Bank of Cyprus is paying under 1%, let's say 1%. Would you like 4 years of interest in 1 month and then the next 11 months do nothing and you've made money from day one? And I'll guarantee it. Would you be okay with that? Yes. And then think about the other 11 months. So do you understand what banks are doing with your money in a term deposit and what they're making and how much money they're making and then what they pay you in the end? Right? Good. And you want to know why I love the strategy so much? We average 60 minutes a month to the strategy and we know what the risks are. How many of you would like to know what the risks are? Good. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to share with you, explain the risks before I show you return. Would you like to see what the US market is paying shortly before the market even opens? How many of you would like to see future results of what you can make before the market even opens? And I'll challenge you to go onto your phones and have a look at the figures for yourself because I can't make them up. I'm not going to show you past results. I want to show you future results. Is that okay? Good. Before I show you results, let's talk about the risks. What would you say is our worst case scenario? We've got 3 worst case scenarios, 3 risks. What would you say is our worst case scenario? Christo, what's your worst case scenario? You got some shares. What's your worst case scenario? Do you know what it is?
The share to be devalued.
The share to be? Devalued. Devalued to 0. Yeah. Liquidated, closed, bankrupt, finished. That's our biggest risk. Do you all understand that? If we buy Tesla, Google, Microsoft, McDonald's, and it goes to 0, we've lost the money invested in it. So this is why we don't always put all our money into the one company. We diversify, spread the risk. So worst case scenario number 1, our ABC shares goes to 0, we've lost the money. Is everyone okay with that? Does everyone understand that? We're not okay with it, but do we understand it? Good. Second risk. Do you remember I said to you we can protect between 90 to 99%, which means up to 10% is at risk. Do all of you remember that? I said when we go into the market, whether it's for 8 days, a month, 2 weeks, whatever it is, you can protect your money and you can protect between 90 up to 99%, which means up to 10%, up to, is at risk. There is a cost to protect your money. It's not free. We have to pay. There is a cost. The cost on average is 1% for the month. So let me ask you this. What did I say we are earning this month? What did I say? 2 to 4%. What did I say we're earning this month? 2 to 4%. All right. Are we all okay if we get some sexy time now? We're going to get some sexy time now, all right? Not like that. The 2 to 4% that we're earning from day one in our account, is that 2 to 4% somebody else's money coming into our account from day one? The money that we're making, the profit of between 2 to 4%, is that somebody else's money coming into our bank account from day one? Yes. How many of you would like to learn how to use other people's money to protect your money and still make money from day one, and your money's protected and it's cost you nothing? Are you okay with that? Good. Bravo. Otherwise I'll kick you out. The 2 to 4% that we're earning, we take a percentage off that to protect our money. Our profit's reduced, but we're still making money from day one, and you know your money's protected and it's cost you nothing. Would that be okay? What's the one thing holding people back from investing? What's holding you back from investing? Let's be honest. You're either going to say to me, I don't have money to invest, or I'm scared to lose the money I've saved because I've worked so hard for it.
I'm not going to say that. I don't have the knowledge to do that.
Knowledge is the other thing, yes. I appreciate that. But would you agree most people would say fear? I don't want to lose money. So let me tell you this. If I can tell you from day one, I'll guarantee you a return from day one, and your money's protected. And before you even put any money into the market, you will know what your return is and you will know what your risk is before you even outlay a cent. Would you like to have all that information in front of you before you make the investment? With your strategy, I can tell you what your return's going to be and what your risk is before any money goes into the market. No guesswork. Whereas your fund manager will go and put money into the market and they'll take their fees out every month and you make nothing because they'll say the market is down, nothing we can do. Are we okay with this? Good. Maybe we should start clapping so we're louder than them. Woo! Right? Okay, hold on. We're talking about risks. 1 second. Right? Third worst case scenario. We're talking about risk. Do we all agree if we bought a stock ABC and we bought it for $48 and it went down to $40, do we all agree on paper it's dropped $8? Yes? Let's say we made income of only $5. And then today we liquidate and we sell. If it's dropped $8 but we've only made $5, do we all agree we've lost $3 if we sell? So another risk is if you choose to sell your shares because, George, I need the money, I have to sell them. If you sell and liquidate today, you're going to take a loss if it's gone down. That's another risk, okay? So they're the 3 worst case scenarios. Do we all agree, because we're in Cyprus, euros needs to be converted into US dollars. There is a currency exchange as well, okay? But I'll teach you how to protect the currency exchange as well if you want. So therefore your money is protected if there's a currency fluctuation. That's another important thing. Who wants to see what the US market is paying? Good. Shortly. On the US market, we have a choice of over 3,000 companies to do the strategy with, which means we can earn income 12 times a year. Always find a buyer. 15 minutes to 20 minutes to set up a dummy account. So with my students across the planet, before they even put any money into the market, they are learning the strategy in a dummy account on the live markets. They're educating themselves. They're seeing it. They understand it. We watch over them to make sure they're doing it correctly. They know what they're doing correctly before they put any money in. We won't let them put any money into the market unless we know they know what they're doing. So the first thing we do is we learn in a dummy account on the live markets. Very important. The brokerage fees that we pay here in Cyprus and in Europe is $350 to buy the stock and to US to do the contract. So $550 is the brokerage fees that we pay to do the transactions. And for average returns right now of 2 to 4% this month, and I'll use the word potential because if we do nothing, nothing changes. Does that make sense? Good. Have any of you heard of a company called Gap Clothing? Gap. Yes? Okay. Do they trade on the US market? Yes or yes? Good answer. What's the price of Gap that I've got up on the screen in the red box? What's the price? 24.56. Now, let's put what I've just explained together and let's see this. How many shares do we need to buy minimum? Excellent. If the stock price is 24.56 and we have to buy 100 shares, what's the minimum investment? $2,456. Everyone okay with that? Yes? Do you remember I said to you my 6 keys? Number 1 was 10 minutes to click 10 buttons. 2 was we transfer risk to somebody else and we get paid for it. I've proven that to you. 3 was we can protect between 90 to 99%. And number 4 was to start investing, we need between 2 to 5 grand. Is that between 2 to 5 grand? Yeah. Is it going to make us a lot of money? Are we going to make a lot of money on that $2,500 investment for the next 8 days? No. But something is better than nothing, Christo. Yes? Good. On the right-hand side, what's the strike price that we're going to create? I've got a red arrow pointing to it to make it easy for you. 24.5. Excellent. 24.50. How much are we buying the stock for approximately? What are we selling it for? 24.50. So are we selling it for 6 cents less than what we're buying it? So we're going to lose 6 cents if it's sold next Friday. Does everyone follow? So we're losing 6 cents off the capital. But on the far left-hand side, what are they bidding to pay? 70 cents. Between 70 and 80. Last trade, 77. Let's just take the 70. If we're losing 6 cents off the capital, are we still making money? What are we left with? 64. Yes? We're making 64 cents. How many shares are we buying? $64. What's the cost of brokerage? $5.50. Let's make it 6. 64 minus 6, what are we left with? Good, I was just testing to see if you all got it right. 58. Who's got a calculator? No, hold on, relax, sir. Don't get excited, all right? Hold on. We need a calculator. No speculation. We want certainty. Can I ask a question? Is $58 over the next 8 days going to make you rich? No. But if you had $2,500, where else could you put it right now? Let's be honest here. Let's think about it. It's not a big investment. We're not making a lot of money. But if we had €2,500, let's say, where could we put €2,500? Nowhere. I probably couldn't even buy a car here for $2,500, right? So there's nothing else we can do with it. Even if we put it in the bank, it's not going to make us anything. But if we can see $58 from day one upfront guaranteed for the next 8 days, and we don't have to watch the stock market, and we've made money from day one, would that not give us confidence that something works? Because how often do we put money into investments and time into an investment and we never see anything back and we get disheartened? So who's got a calculator? So what was your name? Costa. Costa, do me a favour, please. I've been picking on Christo too much. I'll pick on you now. Can you do this for me? 58 divided by 2456 times 100, please. 2.3. Round it down. How many of you would be okay to make a 2.3% return for the next 8 days, guaranteed in your account from day one? For 8 days. When you think about Bank of Cyprus will pay me 1% a year and I can make 2.3 in 8 days and the profit's guaranteed from day one in my account and I don't have to watch the stock market. And then think about how many more zeros we can put in and how many more zeros we can pull out. Do you all understand that? Good. $58 is not going to make us rich, but it's a start to see something to build confidence. Does everyone follow? Good. Okay. 2% for the next 8 days. Have any of you heard of a company called DraftKings? Did someone say yes? Yes? What do? Correct. Bravo. Betting company. They bet and make money off other people. Let's make money off them. Are we okay? What's the price of DraftKings? Okay, can someone do me a favor? In fact, can we go back a step? Can someone just Google Costa? Thank you. Can you just Google Gap stock price? Tell me what the current price is right now in the market. I believe the stock market has opened. Oh, so it hasn't opened yet. Okay, that's fine. It'll open hopefully by the time we finish. So let's have a look at this price. What's the price of DraftKings? Can you just quickly search DraftKings, DKNG stock price? Google DKNG stock price. NG stock price. 24.37. Hold on. 23.92 close price. You're looking after hours price. Just check it. Just confirm. Don't take my word for it. Can you check close price? Just Google DKNG stock price. Yeah. What is it? Yeah, because that's after hours. Yeah. The market trades for market makers even when it's closed. So you get after hours prices. But sir, what's your name? Steve. Just check it, please. Make sure. I know. Costa. Thank you. So 23.92. 23.92. How many shares do we need to buy minimum? 100. 2,392. Yes? Could we add could we make that, let's say we had 5,000 euro. Could we buy 200 of those? Yes? But if we add an extra zero to that equation, the investment is 23,920, correct? Okay. What's the strike price on the right-hand side? 24. On the left-hand side, what are they bidding to pay us? $1.33. How many shares are we buying? What's the cost of brokerage? Make it 10. What are we left with? How many of you would be okay to make $1,320 for the next 8 days? From day one. How many hours and how hard are you working to make 1,300 euro? But you need, let's be honest, you need 23,000, 24,000, yes? What else? Can you do, Costa? I've got it right. It's just about 10 times. That's usually. I'm good with names. Sorry, I'm good with faces, not names. 1,320 divided by 23,920. So the income that we've made up front divided by the investment times 100, please. Yep. So you don't want cash flow. It's not for everybody. Hold on. Yes, go. Yes. It is. No, it's per transaction, but when we go more than 1,000, it becomes a percentage. Okay? So let me ask you this. I'm not telling you this to impress you. I'm going to say this just so you can understand the power of this strategy. I've been in this strategy for 26 years. I've been teaching for 22 years, this one strategy. The presentation you've seen today is the presentation I did 22 years ago and I've done in between. I haven't changed my presentation. The only thing I change are the figures every time I speak for live data. Can I ask you this? In the last 13 years, I love property. I'm heavily invested in property. We love property. But do you agree people work in a job to save money to go and buy a property and then they've got to keep working to service and pay the loan? Yes? In the last 13 years, I'll just tell you 13 years so I don't freak you out. In the last 13 years, we've bought 13 investment properties. 9 of those are waterfronts and the others aren't. Can I ask you this? In 13 years to buy 13 properties, would you say that's the norm or out of the norm for the average person? Okay. Would you like me to show you how I do it and how my students are doing it? Because I have students right now selling their own homes to put money into this market, into this strategy, because they've seen it work. They're willing to rent, sell their house, take the capital gain, rent to build cash flow to then buy again. So let me ask you this. If you had 300,000 or 250,000 euros, what would you do with it? Be honest. If you had 250,000 euro that you've saved, what would you do with it? Buy a house. Well, most people do that, right? Christos saying no, but that's okay. He wants the dividends. I'm just going to sit and get the dividends every 3 to 6 months. Cash flow de Christo. Okay. If we bought 10,000 shares, that's 239,200. So you've got 250,000 and you buy a house somewhere in Cyprus, let's say as an investment. What would you earn per week or per month rent on that property? Let's say we put 250,000 and we buy an apartment, a house somewhere. What would it give us a month rent? Roughly? 1,000? You're pushing 5 to 6% a year. Okay, hold on. But let's just see. Okay, let's say we're making 1,000. So the 250,000 is giving us €1,000 a month. Okay. So my 250,000 goes into the stock market. You've bought the house, you're making 1,000 a month. How much am I making per share? How many shares have we got? What's the cost of brokerage? It's about 100. Make it 300. Pay them more. They're working in a job. Give them some money. How many of you remember I said who would like to learn how to use other people's money to protect your money and still make money and it costs you nothing? The cost to protect for the next 8 days is just on 3,000. Let's make it 5. Let's pay more to protect more. What are we left with? Just so you can understand this. Your property, or let's just say euro, 250,000 is giving you euro 1,000 a month. Yes? Okay. My 239,000 US has just given me 8,000 for 8 days. Guaranteed from day one. Do you want 8,000? Ella. Do you want $8,000 cash for the next 8 days and you can do whatever you want? You don't have to work for it. Were you not here when I talked about it? Oh, that's your fault. It's not mine. They all heard it. Let me explain. I'll explain it for you. So going back to the strategy, we buy shares on the stock market in the US. We don't buy shares because we love the company. We're buying them to use them, to make money off them. So when I buy property as an investment, I don't buy it because I love it. I buy it because I've done my feasibility. I've picked an area that's going to give me growth. So for property for me is a growth. That's why we buy waterfront. So for me to minimize my tax, I buy high-end properties with very low return. So the money I make from the stock market to minimize my tax pays off the loans. Does that make sense? So the strategy is I buy shares and I do these contracts on them to give me cash flow. Whether the stock goes up or whether the stock goes down, we still make money from day one. That's what I want, cash flow. The risks to this strategy is if the company goes to zero, we've lost the capital that we've invested. So this is why we diversify. We put money into different companies, not just one. The second risk is we can protect our money in the market. We can protect between 90% up to 99% when we go into the market. So if my contract is for 8 days because expiry is next Friday, if I went in today, I would protect for the next 8 days. If I went in on Monday this week, it would be for 2 weeks. We can protect between 90 to 99%. So our risk, maximum risk, is up to 10% for that time. There is a cost to protect. So it's not free, we have to pay. But if we're making this month between 2 to 4%, and we take out the 1%, we're still making 1 to 3, and our money's protected, and it's cost us nothing. Correct. Yes. So whatever that stock does, by Friday next week, we're protected, maximum risk up to 10%, that's it. And we still make money. So coming back to the strategy, right? Who would be okay for an extra $8,000 for the next 8 days? Even if it was for a month. So let's just say a month. Let's be conservative. Let's say a month, 8,000. That's 2,000 euro a week on a 250,000 investment. How many hours are people working to make 2,000 euro? Right? Now, that's a lot of money. But would an extra 1,300 euro help you, even if it was for a month? Absolutely. So, let me explain this to you. We have a property. Last year, we refinanced. I went to the bank, and because the value's gone up, I refinanced that property. I have a line of credit, what we call a line of credit in Australia, where the bank has given me $1 million, which is sitting in our bank account right now that I can do whatever I want with. The bank has given me a line of credit of $1 million. I can do whatever I want with it. No questions asked. The interest rate right now for me, with an interest rate rise that we've had yesterday, with the money that I've got with the bank, is just over 6%. But I'm just going to say 6% per annum, and I'm just going to say 6,000 a month. Is everyone okay with that? Just to keep the numbers easy. So I've got to pay the bank. The moment I draw down on that loan, I've got to pay the bank the interest on the 6%. The property, the last property that we just bought is in Athens, in an area called Porto Rafti. It's a near water. We're about 150 metres up on a mountain in front of the water. We've got a 180-degree ocean view of the bay. And we bought it in the Beta. So it's just bricked and concrete, but what we did was, it was a block of 5 units. It's 630 square metres, and we're making it into a house. Okay? So I need money. We've bought it outright, so no loan, but I need money now to finish the project. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw down on that loan. I'm going to use the bank's money to finish the project. So I'm going to use 80% of the bank's money to finish this house with no income. So now I've got to find money to pay this loan off. Do you all follow? What am I left with? If 80% goes to the property with no income, what are we left with? 20%, yes? 20% or 200,000. How much is this stock? What's the return on this trade? What's the return? 5% for 8 days, not a month, 8 days. Let's make it a month, yes? On the 200,000 that's left, if I can make a 3% return for the month, that's a $6,000 return to pay the whole loan. And now I've got my waterfront property that the stock market pays and I don't need an income for. Who's okay with that? So how many of you want to use banks' money, other people's money, to invest and pay your home loan, buy your property, go on a holiday, do whatever you want, and the stock market pays for it? Would that be all right? Question? Go. Yes.
Is it an extra percentage that you pay to the agency or to the broker, or is it a different strategy?
No, it's a different strategy to the thing, yeah. So, as we all know, the Cyprus term deposits here in a bank, 0.8 to 1%, and we work our way down. How many of you would be okay to make a 5% return, let's just say for the next month? Now, please, by all means, go onto Google and have a look at the figures. I can't make them up. Would you be okay to make a 5% return for the next month, let alone 8 days from day one? Good. Now, how many of you agree cash is king? Good. Cash is king. Who wants to live in Profitability Street with me now? Good. 2 people. I like 3. Okay, 4. All right. We get paid from day one. If I'm going to invest my money, I want to see certainty. I want a return. I don't want to speculate on my money. I've shown you how we transfer risk to somebody else and we get paid for it. Protecting our capital is paramount to our long-term success. Start with as little as 2,000 to 5,000, and who wants to be financially free in the next 3 to 5 years? Good. Let me show you this. This is my trade. I don't usually show the stock codes because in Australia and in the US, I'm not allowed to. Here I can, and I'll show it to you. Stock's called SEDG, energy stock. So what I want you to have a look at on the top left is the stock, and have a look at the time that I went in. If possible, no photos if that's okay. It is my intellectual property, just no photos for the moment. It is my trade, it is my live account. If anyone thinks, I'm more than happy to be audited. I'm more than happy to turn my computer on and log into my account, and you can see it if you want to challenge me, there's no problem. But no photos if that's okay. 24th of the 4th, 2026. Can you all see that? Let me just turn my clicker on with the red. Can all of you see 24th of April to 2026? Can all of you see that? Now, on the 23:30 is 11:30. So in Sydney, Australia, at 11:30 at night is when the US stock market opens, which is 9:30 New York time. So within 6 seconds of the market opening, my order's gone in. I bought 1,000 of these shares, $47.76, investment of $47,760, $30 commission brokerage. Can all of you see that? Okay, so let's write this up. So how much did I buy the stock for? 47.76, yes? 1,000 shares, 47,760. Now, have a look now where the contracts are. Where are we? Whoops, no, wrong button. This one. These are my contracts. Now this clicker's not working. Can you see the contracts here? My contract expires on the 1st of May, 2026, and I agreed to sell it at $47. Can all of you see that? Right? So there it is there, 1st of May. I did 10 contracts. How much did I earn? $3.40 per share. So who can work this out? From the 24th of April to the 1st of May, how many days is that? 24th of April to the 1st of May, how many days is that? A week. So 7 days, I made $3.40. How many shares did I buy? 1,000. 340 times 1,000 is 3,400 on that investment. Do you all follow? For a week. What do you think the stock did? The stock went down. Monday night, I was in Larnaca talking to a group, people like you, and I actually logged into my account live, and we saw the stock at $40.98, trading. How much did I buy it for? $47.76, yes? It's now at $40.98. Do we care? Why? Because I've made money. It's down because one person in the room said, hold on, George, your stock has dropped $6, but you've only made $3. So you're at a loss. Where's my loss? I've got $3,400 for a week in my pocket. Where's my loss? So, have a look. What was the date on Monday? It was the 4th. I put an order in at 3:38 Australia time, which was at about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8:38 here in Cyprus. And I did a contract, SEDG, May 8. When's the 8th of May? I didn't put an arrow to it, but have a look here. When's the 8th of May? Tomorrow. What's the strike price that I did? Who can see? 48C, 48 call. Can all of you see that? So the stock was trading at 40, 90, 98, and I've done a contract at 48 while the stock is, let's say, 41. And how much did I make? How much did I make? $1.10. I've gone in, I bought the stock, I did the contract on the 5th, which expires on the 8th. How many days is that? It's actually 4, including the 5th. So for 4 days, let's say a week. So for another week, I've made another $1,100 while the stock is trading at $41. Can you do me a favor, Costa? Can you just quickly go in now and just do a Google search, SEDG stock price? Tell me what it is right now. And I'll come to your question shortly. 40.61. What price did I do? 48. So, do you reckon by tomorrow night it's going to go to 48? Who knows? Have I still made $1,100? So, Costa, can you do this for me? 3,400 plus 1,100. How much have I made? 34 plus 11. Now, can you do this for me? 4,500 divided by 47,760 times 100. How much have I made? 9.4. Who would be okay to make a 9.4% return in 2 weeks while your stock has gone down and you're still making money? Question. Straight away from day one, up front, immediately.
So as soon as you open those contracts, you get that payment?
Straight away, day one. Guaranteed.
So you don't even have to sell it. There is
One question a day, you've asked 3. Go, yeah, right there, quick.
He didn't
So you
read-
don't even have to ever sell your stocks because you're making.
I do want you to sell the stocks because then people get emotional with the stock. So we do want to sell the stock. Yeah. Otherwise they go, oh, it's made me all this money. I just want to trade it. And in a year's time, it might not be a good stock. Right? We don't see it often, but it could happen. So I don't want emotion. You've traded it, you've made money, it's sold. So one of my criteria is for the next month, you don't trade that same stock again. Out, find something else. Okay?
So the current price was 40.
41 pesos.
There was a genius buying.
There was an idiot buying at 48, $1.10, a genius. Call him a genius. Nah.
That was it.
Yes. Okay, I made $3 last week, but I made $1 this week. Something's better than nothing. Does everyone understand that? Good. Let me show you another thing. What stock did I show you here? DKNG, DraftKings, yes? Guess what I traded in my account? On the 6th of May. When was the 6th of May? Yesterday. DraftKings. I bought it, $23.88. I bought it for $23.88. Can all of you see that? I bought 500 shares. I did this live in the room. I've recorded it for training purposes, and if anyone wants to challenge me, I've got it, if they want to audit it. So I bought 500 just for the exercise. I did a contract which expires on the 15th of May. When's the 15th of May? Next Friday, right? So from the 6th to the 15th, 9 days. SLD sold, how much did it pay me? $1.31. So I've made $1.31. Costa. $1.31 divided by 23.88. Times 100. 5.4, say 5. Live in my account. Would you be okay with a 5%? That's what it's paying. That's what it paid then, and that's what it's paying now.
I know.
Another question. Yeah. Sorry? Keep it light. All right, bravo.
I'm comparing DKNG
Yep.
to GAP.
Yep.
It was pretty much the same.
Value, less return.
But yeah,
Liquidity.
the contract was at 1.3, the other one was 0.7. What is impacting?
Liquidity. How many players are in the market? Yeah, that's all it is. Roughly same value stock. Some stocks pay more, some pay less. But again, something is better than nothing, right? As long as it meets the criteria. Because I can show you stocks right now that are paying 9, 10, 11% for 8 days. I wouldn't even touch them, okay? But see, when people see 5% or even 2% for 8 days, then they're searching for more. We're always looking for more. That's human trait, greedy. Something is better than nothing. Does everybody understand that? Even if you can make an extra $100 for a month, you're not working for it. That's the difference, right? One of my students for 6 months, 15%. Would you be okay to make 15% in 6 months, clicking some buttons and not have to talk to anybody and not have to deal with anybody? Right? This is my investor of the month. I run investor of the month. Her name is Amy. She lives in Sydney. She works in the mines, in the mining game. And she has 100,000 in the market. Her target was to make 6% a month. She's making 5,000 to 6,000 a month on 100 grand. Another one, this is Maria. She's here in Cyprus. She's my coach, one of my coaches now. So just so I can show you this, and did I pull it out? I don't think I did. Hold on. Did I pull it out? No. If you bear with me, I will try and grab it. I thought I had it out, but here it is. Let me do this. That's Panayotis, and this is Marias. This is Marias, and that's Panayotis. If any of you want to come and see me later, I'm more than happy to show you. This is Maria. This is her. She won my investor of the month. Christo, how much did she put into the market? Θέλεις γιαγιά. Ωραία. What was your name? Kathy. Πες μου εδώ κάτω. Total investment. How much did she start with? 125,000. Yes? Okay. How much did she make from August? From August to April. How much did she make?
108.
No. 54. On 125,000, 54,000 return, it's a 40% return. Here in Cyprus. Would you be okay with that? That's a trading statement with every single trade she's done. If anyone wants to audit it, I'll see it. It's there. So that's great. We don't always do 40% in under 12 months, but we're averaging anywhere between 20 to 30, 35%. I'm averaging personally about 32% a year. Who would be okay with those sort of results? Sonia, one of my students on Facebook, 38% on the right-hand side, a return for 2025, January to December. I take a group of students to Greece every year. I do a boot camp in Greece for 2 to 3 weeks. So they fly from all across the planet, my student, and we come into Greece. And for 2 to 3 weeks, we travel. I take them to all the beautiful beaches and islands and all that sort of stuff, and we island hop and we do the touristy stuff and jump on yachts and all that. And we trade. They watch me trade every day, and they trade in their accounts. So imagine if you're able to travel with me for 2 to 3 weeks, and we trade together, and we enjoy ourselves, lifestyle. This is Christine. She's a property developer. She teaches people how to do property investments and developments in Queensland, in Australia. She came with me last year. She did 6.5% in 2 weeks. Not only did she make the cost of the trip, she also made all the spending money back and a bit more. So imagine being on a trip for 2 weeks with me and you make your money back. So
This is a good deal.
565 grand made 19 grand. One of my students, Jeremy, made 25% in 5 months. Giorgio, he's 34 years old in Victoria. He's a Greek boy. He's a Kefalonian like me. He's retired, 34 years old. So let me explain this to you. He has in Australia what we call rooming houses, boarding houses. He had 2 in Australia, which in Melbourne, which he's now sold. He got out of his investments and he's put all the money into this strategy. He's at the moment at 900,000 in the market, and by the end of this year will be at 2 million. Right. I'll skip through all this and I'll just point this out of what he did in 1 month in October last year on 900,000 investment. So if we had 900,000 and we bought a property with that, what would we make? He made 119,000 in 1 month. Even if he did nothing for 11 months, he's outdone fund managers, banks, property. Who wants cash flow? So I'll skip through all these, folks. that's an accountant. My biggest clients, to be honest, in Australia are barristers, solicitors, and accountants. They're my biggest clients. They love me. Because the one thing barristers don't have, they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. They don't have time. They work for their money. They don't have time. So how many of you have realized what I'm teaching you today is not about money. It's about more time. Because if money's working for you, you choose your life. Does that make sense? If you've got an extra €1,000 for a month banked into your account that you're not working for, that could give you more time. It's not about the money. Everyone's chasing money. I chase time. I can always make money. I can't make time. Life is short. How many people are dying, heart attacks, turbo cancers, all this sort of stuff at a young age? Time is what we want back. So I'll skip through all these. One of my students who invests in property and stock market, 4 years in Australia, made 250 grand on a property in an area called Top Right in Sydney, Australia. Made 500 in 3 years from this strategy. Same investment, 800 grand in both strategies. So I'll skip through it all. Do you all agree model people who do things well and can prove results? How many people try to reinvent the wheel? All I want to do is fast track your success. And just imagine what this can do for you. And I want to say, welcome. Do you want to know why I love this? How many of you want to travel across the planet and not have to talk to anybody, deal with anybody? All you need is a computer and an internet connection and you're a global investor. I don't want to knock on doors, sell pills, potions and lotions or do any of that sort of stuff, right? So no employees, no clients. We average 60 minutes a month to the strategy. Once you've learnt the strategy, 60 minutes is what we allocate. My youngest is 14 at the moment and my oldest is 92. You have to be 21 and over to invest on the US market, but there's ways around it. My 18-year-old son is trading in the markets as well. Start with as little as 2 to 5 grand and something we must teach our children. Who's got children? We have to teach them. Who hasn't got children? Find some. Let's teach them. So here's my family. And as I said, making money can make you rich, but having time makes you wealthy. The one thing we can never get back is time. Earning is a product of learning and you're only one letter away from earning more. My education, which is self-paced, teaches you everything you need to know about the strategy. My students from across the planet, not only do they get my education, which is my intellectual property online, I also give them stock choices and reports. How many of you would like to also be able to follow the stocks that I'm trading? Because I scan the markets according to my criteria. But you will learn that criteria, you'll learn how to scan, right? But while you're learning, I'm scanning and I'll let you know what I find. Not every day do I find, but when I find, I'll let you know. Today there's no stock choice, or today there is one, DKNG. If you like it, trade it. Do your analysis. Because it's your money, you're in control. Don't ever give your money to anybody else to invest. You need to learn to look after your money. Don't ever give it to, not even to me. I need you to control your financial future. Don't rely on anybody else, okay? My stock choice will tell you what's the company, what's the return, what's the risk. Everything is outlined. It's a 4-page report. I also do reports of what's going on in the markets. And we also offer coaching. So you get access to my team of coaches, Cyprus, Spain, and in Australia. They're my coaches and I'm training someone up in Greece at the moment. How many of you would like to have someone that will guide you and watch over your shoulder to tell you, do this, don't do this? That's what my coaches do. So we offer a 12-month membership where we do one-on-one coaching. The education is all online. The stock choices and the reports, they are the 4 components. The coaches, they guide through the education. Guide you with opening the account. Remember I said we get the account open, the dummy account. We show you how to place the trades. We show you how to monitor and review the trades so you know what to look for if needed. We guide you on how to find your own trades. We guide you when action is needed throughout the education and we guide you every step of the way. Because I say model what we do and do it well. Model someone who's doing what you want to do that's proven it to you. Does that make sense? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm finished. Is it not 2 hours yet?
We do have time.
We do have time? We don't have time. Any questions?
The dividends.
Yes, the dividend story. He's forgot about the dividend story. At the beginning, it was, I want the dividends. How do you do the protection? That's the $1 million question. That's what I teach. Any questions? Covered calls. Covered calls.
So, where is your network? Where can someone find you?
Okay.
How we start?
All right. If anyone is interested, you can complete a form which is an expression of interest. I can send you some more info, or I can tell you what the membership is if anyone is interested to understand what the membership is. Do you want me to go through the membership? Because I'll stop here, I can go through the membership. So let me, 4 more minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, membership. We do have time?
We don't.
We don't. Where else do you want to go?
No, I said,
I can show you how to make money. So I wanted my computer up the front because I actually wanted to log into the account as well and show you. But I can be here tomorrow. I can do some things. I know you're joking. That's okay. But look, for me, it's about being transparent. Okay, that's why I've been in business for 22 years. Because for me, it's cut the bullshit and show results. Because results and figures make sense. Doesn't matter whether you like me, doesn't matter whether you don't like me, how I sound, how I look is irrelevant. The reality is we're looking to make money and we don't want to work for our money. Does that make sense? We're all looking to start up businesses and do all these things, but we're working in a job, not on a job. We're working in the business, not on the business. And I love what I do. I'm very passionate. If you talk to my students, they'll tell you, I love teaching. So I'm here because I love being here. So for me, it's just spreading it because I've just taught you something that I can't unteach you for the rest of your life. Because now that you've learnt it, you can't unlearn it. So let me explain what the membership is all about. And then we can go and have a drink. First and foremost, my education is 6 hours. To learn the covered call strategy is 6 hours. 13 modules, 6 hours. Okay? Everything you need to know. This is all online. This is my education, 6 hours. The second thing is giving you access to those stock choices. So while you're learning to fish, I will tell you what stocks I'm finding so you can quick, fast track and go into the market to give you some income. Does that make sense? Number 3 are the reports that I do, and number 4 is the one-on-one coaching. So the coaching that we offer is one-on-one. I don't do webinars. I don't do Zoom groups, jump in. No. All the coaching is you jump on Teams. Who's heard of Teams? It used to be Skype, it's now Teams. So my coaches are online on Teams, and it's Australia time 10 in the morning to 10 at night, which is 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. Cyprus time, right? Now, I don't need you up at 3 in the morning, unless you are up, but in the morning at 8 o'clock before you go to work, could you jump on a 10, 20-minute call, place the trade, do everything, let it go for the month, and then you've got the whole month to do something else, and you've built another income stream. And that's the thing. So the one-on-one coaching is all done on Teams from 10 to 10, Monday to Friday, which is, I'll go back to that shortly, which is 3 to 3 here in Cyprus. It is unlimited coaching for the next 12 months. If there is a public holiday in the US or in Australia or Christmas, Easter, New Year's, Thanksgiving, whatever, my coaches are offline. There are some times when my coaching hours are shortened, 12 to 10 or 10 to 4 because they're sick, they're away, whatever. So it's not always 10 to 10, but most times it is. This is beautiful Kefalonia. Your new life is going to cost you your old life. Are you willing to make that trade? Because let me ask you something. We're all looking for money. You can be skeptical, you can be cynical, you can be whatever you want. I can open up my account later when the market is on. I can place a trade right in front of you like I did, and you can see it for yourself. What more do you want? If I can guarantee you a return from day one, and you've seen my trade that went down and I still made money, what are you looking for? Why are you here? Are we looking to keep working and building other businesses that we're working for, or are we looking for cash flow that's going to service our lifestyle? It's a choice. Richard Branson said, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity like George Fokas, he didn't say that, I just added that in, all right? Say yes and then learn how to do it later. So if you are interested, for some of you who are interested, as a couple of bonuses, I run a boot camp here in Cyprus. You'll get to come to the boot camp. I also run them in Australia. I run them in Greece. I run them in Cyprus. I run them in the US. So you'll get to come to a boot camp where you sit with me for a whole day and I go through the whole education to make sure you understand it. Now, you don't need the boot camp to get started, but what I will do, the next boot camp might be either in December or in March. and you'll just come into a room similar to this, nothing fancy. I don't have bright lights or any stages. We just sit in a round table and we work together and I explain everything to you to make sure you understand it. That's all I do. I don't pick fancy hotels or any of that sort of stuff. It's just, I want to see results for you. That's important. Number two is some people like to have a physical pack that they can hold and touch. So all my education is online, but there is also a hard copy of the education that I do courier out to you. But you'll get this in about 3.5 months, purely because I want you familiar with the online platform, because all the education, everything's on there. So this will get couriered to you as a bonus in about 3.5 months. So the 4 components, and it is a 12-month membership, is the education, the stock choices, the reports, and the mentoring. I offer it here in Cyprus and in Europe for just over, or just under €7,000. Okay. People will say that's a lot of money. And if I can show you how to make a 5% return in the next 8 days, what's that worth? Even if it's for a month. The 2 bonuses are the physical pack and the boot camp ticket, and they're free. But instead of €6,980, your investment is €4,300. Plus €30 for the shipping to get this to you, and there is a monthly payment plan, just under 3,000 saving, right? But I like bonuses. Who wants some steak knives and a vacuum cleaner and that sort of stuff? No, there's none of that. I'll give you another $1,000 discount as a bonus for the diaspora, because Paul said, if there's anything you're going to do, look after the people. And I said, I'm happy to. So your investment is $3,300 if you are interested for the 12 months, plus the 30 shipping. There is a payment plan. Also, the first payment is €905 plus the shipping of 30, and then it's 3 consecutive €875 each month. Okay? You're now saving just under 4,000. But this is one of my properties in an area called Port Stephens in New South Wales. It's one of my waterfronts. As I said, 13 properties in 13 years. If you want something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done. Do you want cash flow? Your actions will show me whether you do or you don't. Everyone says we want money, but most people prove otherwise. So as another bonus, did you learn from me today?
No.
No. All right. Are you coachable, are you trainable, and are you teachable? I need you to be. Coachable, trainable, and teachable. Because how many of you would like to have me as your coach as well over the next 12 months and have direct access to me? And I will coach you, including my team. And that's the offer, if you are interested. So it's about grabbing the opportunity. If you want me to coach you as well, the investment is €3,300 plus the €30 postage per person. There is the payment plan, and that's it, I'm done. Thank you. Questions? Since 1973. How many people are doing it? Have you ever heard of it? Exactly, because they don't teach it. Banks don't teach it and stockbrokers don't teach it. Sorry? Is it online? What is online? It is online, yes, but it's taught very basic. Whereas I've been doing it for 26 years and I've taken the basic strategy underground, tweaked it, revamped it, changed it, and taken it to a whole new level, which you won't find on Uncle Google or on YouTube. Go for it.
How long on average do you keep those contracts?
It just depends on what the stock and the market does. I couldn't tell you. Otherwise, I'd be pulling a figure out of thin air and I'd be lying to you. Sometimes we hold them for 8 days, and sometimes we hold the stock for 6 months, 12 months. But I'll tell you this, believe it or not, the biggest thing you need to understand is this: we always close our positions with a profit.
So you not hold positions like 4 years?
Even if I have to hold a position for 4 years, I will close that position with a profit after 4 years, and a good profit. Even if I have to hold it for 4 years. Because we should never close a position for a loss with your strategy. Unless you decide I'm closing it out, I'm out. Right? That's the only time. Every position you do with your strategy should close with a profit. That's why I love the strategy. Because I make my profit. Look, in my trade over here, it's gone down. Even if I didn't do that trade this week, I've still made 6, 7%. Even if I did nothing for 11 months, I'm still better than having that money sitting in the bank. Even if I do nothing. Do you follow? And over the 11 months, there's going to be an opportunity for me to do a contract to give me something. Even if I don't do it every month, something is better than nothing. Because the moment we start getting greedy is the moment we start screwing things up and losing money. That's why I do the coaching, because I want to see what you're doing. Because people get excited and then they start bending and breaking the rules, and that's where they lose. Yeah. Any other question? Yes. 28. 28 when I retired. Semi-retired, 30 fully retired. Okay, so I look at my lifestyle and what I need, and my home loans and what they need. And then I work it out to what I need to work out, okay, if I need 10 grand, for example, okay, I need 200 grand in the market to be conservative to make 10 grand a month. Okay? That's how I work it out. Yeah, 60 minutes a month. Once you've learnt it. So the reason why I say 60 minutes a month is most times we will have 2, 3, 4, 5 trades in the market. And you're not going to do 5 trades in one day. So you might do a trade today, then there might be a trade on tomorrow, but then next Wednesday you might do. So adding all those 10 minutes up and looking is your 60 minutes. Because once it's played, so let's just say you had 5,000 euro and we did one trade. Well, that's going to take you less than 10 minutes. For the rest of the month, you don't need to do anything. So you're averaging 10 minutes.
So just to double check, you said at the end of the third Friday,
Yep.
it closes out.
Yep.
So what happens then at the third Friday?
The stockbroker is going to do 2 things. Either if the stock closes above the contract price, they're going to sell it for you and give you your money back. Or if the stock closes below, they're going to cancel the contract for you. So you still keep the stock.
And then on the first of the month, we just roll it.
So the Monday after the third Friday, we're going to do another contract. Now, on the Monday, so you're going to learn that on the Monday, you're going to look at what the stock's done. And it might be, according to my criteria, then on the Monday, you're not going to do anything. We're going to wait until Tuesday to see what the stock does overnight, right, or during the day. So the other thing is this. Because in the afternoon, the stock market is trading in the US, I don't ever want you to trade while the market is live. Everything you're going to do before the market opens. This is why the hours of coaching work perfect. By 3 o'clock, you won't have a coach. I don't want you to do anything. Because if the market is open, you get emotional. Oh, it's going up, I need to get in. Oh, it's going down, I better wait. So there's this emotion. We only trade the markets outside hours when it's closed. So there's no emotion, especially for someone that's new. Okay? Place the trade, let it go. Tomorrow when you jump on a call, what's it done? Don't look at it, because then we get emotional. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Fokas, I guess, is it
George. Don't call me Mr. Fokas.
I'm also George, that's why I cannot say Mr. George, it's strange to my... I guess it's a different question, it doesn't have to do with the stock.
Mm-hmm.
You said you coach people as well.
Yep.
For the stock market, so definitely you have to do with people about their lives.
Yep.
Coach them for their lives. And I guess because you've been doing that for a lot of years, you've been through some experiences with people. What would you recommend to an 18-year-old who decided to sacrifice the 4 or 5 years of university life and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants that freedom you promise and say that,
Best decision you've made.
yeah, but
I'm sorry, I'm against university. But anyway, Bess, keep going. Bess.
because in order to get that freedom, you need to be unbalanced, let's say, for a lot of years. So, me right now,
Yep.
my issues with the shiny object syndrome,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I don't know what to decide.
Yep.
Log in for a lot of years.
Yep.
that will bring me the fastest freedom for the
Okay, so
everyone passive income.
the first problem, the first problem with what you've just said is the fastest. There's no fast. There's no fast. Slow and steady wins the race. But if you don't do anything now, in 3 to 4 to 5 years, you'll look back and you'll go, I've lost the time. Especially that you're 18. My suggestion to you would be, look, if you want to go to university to become a doctor or a barrister, you need that. That's fine. But other than that, when you go to university to become a doctor, you're looking at how much money you want to make. You want to help patients, right? But it's the money. People are looking at the money. So what I would say to you is, what do you want in life? Find 2 or 3 people, because the best way to fast track is diversify what you're doing. Pick 2 to 3 things that you think, see, I'm teaching. I teach. You've all seen it. And I can tell you, the majority of you, and no disrespect, will do nothing. Because we're thinking, I don't have the money, I don't trust him, or I don't know him, I want to do more research. There's all these things that are happening because that's what we've been conditioned to do. We've been conditioned to be skeptical, and that skeptical holds us back. What made me different to everybody else is when I saw an opportunity, I didn't listen to other people's opinions. I made decisions quickly, and that's what changed my life. So if you see something and you hear about something and you think you can do it, go with it quickly. Because the more hesitation, more frustration, you will do nothing, and then you'll look back and realize we've lost time. So whatever you want to do in life, find someone that sounds good to you, is the right thing that you feel is comfortable, and do it. The other thing also I would say is, what you do, keep your mouth shut, don't talk to people about it. Because everyone's going to have an opinion and everyone's going to tell you negative more than positive. Does that make sense? No matter what you do, no matter what you say to people, everyone wants to bring people down. Because if you're going better, other people don't like that because they're here at this level and you're improving and getting better. They don't want to see that. It's unfortunate. So for what I say is, talk to nobody until, for example, let's just say you did this. Talk to nobody until you know the strategy and you've seen it, because then you can argue it with other people. Does that make sense?
There is another solution. You do both. You do doctors, you become, you study, and you study also this.
Yeah.
2.
Yep.
Both. Parallel. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes.
Shall I do something I'm passionate about, or just do something that will bring me success, even though it might be misery to me?
Okay.
Because what I'm passionate about doing has to do with mechanical engineering, so I'm fixing stuff, etc., but it doesn't have a bright future.
Okay. You could turn it into a bright future. So let me go back to that. If that's what you're passionate about, that's what you're going to do. Because everyone's chasing money, and when you chase money, money never comes. You've got to do what you wake up every morning, you need to be happy with what you're doing. Okay? Very important. Because one of my mentors, when I started teaching, so when I went to the UK, I don't know if you heard it, in 2005, one of my mentors said, you're coming to the UK. He was doing events, and he said, you're coming to speak. If you ask my wife, at our wedding, it took me an hour to say my speech because I was nervous. I was working in insurance as a business development manager high up in Sydney for a company called Allianz. And I used to get my staff to do my monthly meetings with the estate manager because I couldn't talk. Right? At our wedding, it took me an hour to do my speech. And he said to me, you're coming? Because he knew I was doing the strategy. He saw the results. He saw what I was making. I was just bad at public speaking. He put me on stage and he said, talk. I said, I don't know what to say. He says, you're doing it. I've seen your trading account. You're doing it. Talk. And by putting under pressure and doing it, that's how I learned to become a public speaker. I've done no courses in public speaking. I've done nothing. But when you talk from the heart and the results prove itself, you don't need to do good public speaking, right? But the one thing he said to me was, if you chase the money, because he said to me, don't let fame get into your head. Because when you get up on stage and people get to know you, you'll get fame. And when fame gets into your head, you're going to screw things up. He said, don't let fame get to your head and don't chase the money. Do the right thing from your heart, be integrity, do the right thing, you'll be rich. So you've got to do what you're passionate about. I love now teaching because for me, as I said before, when I only had 4 people in the room, if I can talk to one person, because I've spoken with Robert Kiyosaki, I've spoken in front of thousands, but I've also spoken to one, and I've had rooms where no one showed up, right? I don't care. If one person shows up, I'm talking to that one person because they've showed me they're interested. So go with your passion. And then look at other things that will give you income as well. For example, this one, okay, you've got to learn this, right? But once you've learnt it, if you put the hard yards in now, life will be easy for the rest of your life. But most people, and not disrespect to any of you, but most people, the easy thing to do is walk out that door and do nothing. And then they wonder why they've got no cash flow and there's no money and they've got to constantly work. And then they'll go to the next seminar and hear the next shiny object and then do the same thing, repeat, walk out the door and do nothing. And then they wonder why they're not successful. Because their success isn't as big as what they say it is. Their excuses are bigger than their dreams. So, 1, go with your passion, and 2, make decisions quickly if you want to be successful. So 2 things I can tell you. Don't procrastinate with decisions. Something feels right, go with it. As I say, you got that gut feeling. Does it feel right? Do you want it? Do it. Don't question it.
Completely unrelated.
Go for it.
How do you trade in the US stock exchange?
Yes.
So the account is open there in the States.
Correct. The brokers, my brokers are in Germany. I use brokers in Germany. They do all of Europe.
So they can do EU onboarding to Germany.
Yep. No, that's okay. No, it's a good question. Good question. Yeah. The taxes. I don't. Some accountants tell me one thing, others tell me another. Right. Anything else? If anyone is interested, come and see me. Expression of interest. And we can talk if you are interested. If not, we are done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for more inspiring conversations that are shaping Cyprus's global future. You can also explore more episodes on our website and selected video interviews on our YouTube channels.